A very good day to everyone who's watching this video. Today I'm gonna be explaining about designing and configuring a private virtual network using host only adapter option in VirtualBox and connecting using static IP address between server and client. So first off, what we want to do is start off our Oracle VirtualBox manager, or if you have any other application it works as well. The first thing we want to do is to enable adapter 2 for our system. So a tip before we start is you have to shut down your system in order to change its properties. For example, let me show you. If I go into my settings for my Debian Mario, which is my system, in networks I can change access all the adapters since my device is currently turned off. If it was on or you leave it running, you won't be able to access the other adapters except for the adapter 1, which is always enabled. So the first thing we want to do is go to our adapter 2 and then it will be disabled. We can enable adapter 2 and then we have to select this attached to host only adapter, because since we are going to make it a host only adapter, we have to make it as host only adapter. So second step, we have to press OK to save it, and then second step we can do is we have to go to the host network manager and then we have to click on our adapter and then go to properties. When you open properties, this adapter setting and DHCP server will pop up in the side. So what we want to do is mainly enable the DHCP server, enable the server, and then we have to set it to enable server, and then we have to take note of these two datas, server address and server mask, which I have already written down in my notepad. As you can see, take note of these two numbers and write it down somewhere. The next thing we want to do is check our adapter settings as well, and then change it to it will be automatically on these settings. If it's not, you can change it, configure adapter manually, and then you have to make sure that they have the same value as the DHCP server. So after you've done it, you have to click apply to save it and then close. So for now we can close this off, and then the next step we have to do is go to Windows settings and view network connections. We have to go to network connections and then we have to find the host only network, or it usually has different names for everyone, but the thing is, if you look under the gray letters, it will say that it is for the VirtualBox. So we have to go to its properties, find the right one and go to the properties, and then you have to find the Internet Protocol v version 4, which is this one, and then we have to go to its properties, and then we have to select this one to use the following IP address, and then we have to write down, or we have to key in the address that we've obtained earlier in our Debian settings. After you've done that, you can click OK to save it. So since we've done mostly the important things, the next thing that we have to do is disable the firewall. So you can go to firewall settings, firewall and network connection settings. Okay. So you have to go to these settings and then you have to turn these three off. This has to be turned off because these settings can sometimes interfere with our connection, and sometimes it won't allow our system, our virtual system to connect with our machine. So we're just turning 3 of these settings we are turning it off. Another tip here is you can also pass through these settings, but it's quite complicated, so it's better for us to turn this off if you want to use the settings. So next off, we can close this off. Okay, so we can open our command prompt, and then so we can ipconfig, we can type in ipconfig to check our IP address. If we look closer in our Ethernet adapter for VirtualBox only network, we can see that the address that we added are here. This means that we've done the right steps. If the numbers are showing wrong, that means there is something wrong, and then we have to do it again. We can close it. Next off, after we've done all the steps, we have to go to our terminal. After we are in the terminal, we can type in ipaddr to see info about our IP and all the main infos that we have to know. So after that, we can check our connection with our system that we just established, whether it is working or not, by running a ping check. We have to type in ping, and then we have to key in the address that we have in our notepad, 192.168.56.10. when we ping it, it will send and receive infos, which means the connection is established, which means we are successfully done our task. So if it's running and everything is good, you can type Ctrl+C to stop this, and from our virtual machine side, the connection seems good and it's running, so that's a good sign. And next off, we can close it up, and then we can go to our command prompt, and then we can do the same thing as well. We can type in ping, and then we can type the same IP address, .168.56.10. so it's saying it's pinging, and then you got the reply. If it successfully gets a reply, means from both parties the system is working perfectly fine, from our main machine to our virtual machine. So that's how we can connect our server and client using static IP using the host only adapter. Thank you.